l-programm Local Angle fadal l-aħħar nofsija u f'din l-aħħar nofsija se nlaqgħakom ma' Jon Lukas, persuna li fl-opinjoni tiegħi nammira ħafna, jinsab ħdejja, se nitkellmu miegħu f'diversi wkoll ħansaqsi diversi mistoqsijiet kemm ilu li beda madwar 40 sena ilu. 40 years of
That's right.
music.
Yes. Well, it's been music, it's been writing, it's been production, it's been quite a journey, really. And now I've got Woodenman's Jukebox.
Yeah.
Because you've announced me with my old name, Jon Lukas.
Jon Lukas is
not Jon Lukas Woodenman.
Woodenman, yeah.
Right.
But now Jon Lukas only.
Whatever you want. Il Woodenman, Jon Lukas Woodenman. It's still me.
Of course, a lot of people knows you in the 1970s.
Yes, and that's why they still call me Jon Lukas. But I was very lucky in those times. I entered the British charts and I hit the charts in the Middle East. Lebanon, Abu Dhabi, Damascus, Iran, Bahrain. And it was quite a journey, a real journey, because when we were touring, I toured, and it's amazing how those sounds that I saw when we were touring in those days, they were quite organic and oriental, and now they're being fused in the music of today.
Yeah.
It's I liked the music, but it wasn't very ear-friendly to the Western world at the time. It's funny because I was interviewed this afternoon earlier on another show that's specifically plays African music, and I don't know, for some reasons you can't talk about the show here, but this guy plays African music, and he invited me on the show because I'm a big fan of organic tribal stuff, and and we had a guest. Yeah.
A lot of people remember Can't Afford to Lose.
That's right.
Well,
it's my national anthem.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about that is that after 43 years, I think we're going into 44 years now, people remember the words and remember the tune, and it's very nice. It's something that is what every artist, I think, likes, for 40 years on.
It reached the #1 in the charts.
It wasn't #1. It entered the top 50.
Top 50, okay.
Yes, but at that time it was really something to be in the British charts. You're talking 70s when the Beatles had just split, and I actually recorded in Abbey Road, and I remember the setup in Studio One where they used to record, and their musical instruments were still there because they were hoping that McCartney and Lennon would end the feud and would record, because they were in the middle of some projects at the time. But now you're getting the British charts being invaded by the Eurovision entries.
Yeah.
So I'm not running the Eurovision down, but it's competition tunes. It's not credible music.
And you should consider as well, in 1970s there was rediffusion. There wasn't no internet.
Oh yeah.
The media wasn't that
Oh yeah,
popular.
yeah. You couldn't record a song or write a song like you do now.
Yeah.
You couldn't. With home studio, and you go in, you play 2 chords, you put the lyrics, and you're producing.
And you've met as well Marvin Gaye as well.
I did not just meet him. He was a very, very close friend of mine. In 82, 83, We became very friendly together. It was a very sad time for him. He came to London with Bobby, and his son and his wife were suing him for kidnap, and her brother, who was the head of Tamla Motown, was holding his money. But he was a great musician and an amazing artist, and he was at one stage got into a deal with my record company, Central, to produce my stuff that I was writing at the time. And the first time I played him my first song, he said, hold it, just like that. And I'll never forget it. I was like in the middle part of the song, and he said, hold it. He said, what are you trying to tell me? I said, I'm trying to sing you my song. And he said, you got a voice, you're singing okay, but you're not touching me.
So...
And I went, he said, when you put soul in your music is when you start the communication trip going. So I was more concerned about the chords, I was more concerned about the actual texture of the voice, how the melody's running. And that was it. From then on, what I wrote touched. And what I wrote, if it didn't touch, even if it sounded good, I actually scrapped it.
And it was a nice experience to meet Marvin.
Oh yeah, he was writing Sexual Healing.
Yeah.
At the time.
At that time, yeah.
In '83, and man, I tell you, he actually lived Sexual Healing. Every word in that album, his songs were real, lived.
In the 1990s, you've got as well Love We Share.
All right, yeah.
It was as well one of your best hits.
Yes. I don't know if you remember Marita. Marita was my co-singer there, and she's actually a cousin of mine, and it was quite a funny story, because I was in Blackpool at the time, and I didn't know, though. I went to the Blackpool Theatre, and the manager there came up to me and he said, Lucas, listen, there's a Maltese girl here. And I said, really? Now, in those days, it was one of those times when, for about 15, 20 years, I hadn't been to Malta. I used to go to Spain, had another place there, and I used to go there instead of coming to Malta, so I was really distant. But I hear this amazing sort of Tina Turner-ish voice. And I thought she was marvelous. Then I go backstage to say hello to her, and she starts screaming and crying, and I go, what's up? And it was my cousin, Marita. I didn't know she was singing. And anyway, we got very friendly, and I went to her place in Manchester, and she said, you know, they're going into Eurovision, Malta. Why don't we put a song in? I said, you know, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we put it in, and that was it. We were there. And the song did okay, came second. And about a year later, I don't know if you know the guy, Biddu?
Yeah.
Biddu of, he produced Carl Douglas' Kung Fu Fighting and all Tina Charles hits. He liked the song and he produced it. And what you hear now, it's his production.
It's production.
It's his production.
Wow.
I've got about 3 versions of the song. I've got a version with Marita, I've got a version with Busuttil, an African singer. I've got an instrumental version, and it happened because when we were in the studios recording the song, I said, you know, maybe we need saxophone here. And he said, yeah. Okay, he phoned somebody, came down. So we had the track ready, and we just put him in the studio. And Biddu said, okay, let's get accustomed to the song. So we said, okay, play the track. And he took out the saxophone and started playing with the sax. And when I heard what he was doing,
You've been impressed.
I looked at Bidu, and Bidu went, he saw that I was liking it. And then he came out and he went, how was that? You know, if you want to start taking it, I'm okay. I said, no, we took it. And he said, is that it? I said, yeah, it's a take. He went, Bidu paid him, he left, and then Bidu said, you wise guy, he said, you got another mix. I said, yes. So there's an instrumental version with him alone. He plays the trumpet like nobody's business.
We go back to 2010. I was in Fossos in Floriana. There was a
That's
massive
right.
concert
That's right.
of Winter Moods. And in fact, there was a part in the concert, a personal tribute for you.
Oh yes, yes, that was very, very nice. Very, I mean,
And I was
that was so much.
impressed.
That was so much respect coming from the prince of pop in Malta, Ivan. What can I say? You know, I'm so grateful for it. I had 2 tributes for that song. One came from Mark Storace from Crocus, and the second one was Ivan. But the nice thing about Ivan is that his interpretation of Can't Afford to Lose
I heard it.
is amazing, because he's actually felt that song and really understands that song. And I mean, he's a balladeer. He knows love. That man knows love. And he can express Can't Afford to Lose like no other. I've heard it sung by a lot of people, but his version is cool. He really touched that song. He knows how to croon it, well, actually, just about for the tribute, I actually didn't turn up on the day because I had developed cancer in my lungs, yeah. And we just did it another time together then in Arsha.
Yeah, there was a concert in Russia.
Yeah, we did it there. We surprised the people. We didn't advertise it. He actually said, you know this song, and he started singing it. And as soon as he started the riffs, I came up and he said, here's the man. And the people, you know, really liked it. It was a nice surprise. It was good. It was good. Good stuff.
And you here in Malta, of course, you've got a lot of some other things to do here in Malta, but you're releasing as well the new single.
Yes, yes. It's called Older Better, but I'm not saying older is better. I'm asking if older is better. So it's older better.
That's a question mark.
And that's right. Because basically, it's a bit of the lyrics is, if I knew when I was young, I'd get too old. Here I am. Is it better? I used to be bold, lean. I was faster. Now I'm softer, weary. Is it better? Words like, I didn't ask to be born or to die. Didn't ask to get older. But here I am. Is it better?
Yeah, people have to be careful and hear the lyrics of the single.
Yes, yes. They got to pay attention to the words and the story behind the words, because I'm sure all the people of the 70s who are older are not like people my age were in the 70s. I mean, look at us at this age. We're still funky, we're still up for it. You know what I'm saying? So we're not old, we're older, but we're not old. Because the mind is still active, and we're still funky about life. And that's very important. There's a lot of people out there that can relate to this, because their children or their grandchildren call them, you know, a Shia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they are a Shia. You know, you can't. We're not young, but we're not finished yet. You know, far from it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's white, but it kicks, man. It kicks, I tell you.
Well, you've did as well the filming of the new music video that will be released in a few weeks.
And I want to tell all the people that participated in the video, they were amazing. I mean, they really just gave it. They loved what they were doing. I thought I was going to have problems to work out what I just let them do it, and they were making moves like I've never seen. They were jumping about. And also the guy behind the camera was very good. Francisco Alfred de Bono. He's very good, excellent. I call him Golden Hand because he knows what he's doing. Like he knows how to capture things. It's cool. It's all good. It's all good. Now I'm editing before I leave. I've got a couple of days to edit it, and I'll throw it your way so you can.
Yes. So then
Yeah. I think you'll be all right.
People can see the new music video from Jon Lukas.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, can you speak as well about your social networks? You've got a lot of things in Facebook as well.
Well, I've got pages. I've got my profile page, which is Jon Lukas Woodenman. That's my profile. Yeah. It's spelled Jon Lukas and then Woodenman, Woodenman. Then there's my artist fan page, which is Jon Lukas Woodenman, but all the letters spelled not major letters,
yes.
Lowercase. So the J is a small j, and the L is a small l, and the Woodenman is a small W. Then I've got Woodenman's Jukebox, which is Woodenman apostrophe S, Woodenman's Jukebox. And there's a group page and there's a page. On the group page, all the bands, all local bands that want to be featured there, they just throw their videos and we pick them up and we then get in touch with them. And they email their stuff to woodenman.jukebox@rocketmail.com.
In fact, we saw we watched some screenshots of your social networks that you've mentioned just
Yes.
right now, and people can join you as
Yes.
well. So
Yes. But the one that has all the shows, there's a Woodenman's Jukebox page with an ear, the one with the ear. That has, on the wall as you scroll down, there's nothing but all the past shows. There's 130 shows, all there. And we don't talk much on the show. It's music. So you can just put it on, even if you've got people or people in shops can put it, that sales girls or sales guys can just put it on their speakers. It's all music. It's all good music. And it's all ear fresh music. In fact, I was realizing that on that page, we've got 130 hours of, it's a library and a half of music that is fresh to ear. Because the whole show, well, I created the show because there was a certain type of music that is not played in Malta. Yeah. And I thought that I should introduce this so that the bands don't just get influenced with mainstream. They get to the roots of certain types of music. You know, there's ear-friendly jazz, not really like jazz. But there's some ear-friendly mainstream jazz. There's good African music. There's good bands, indie bands, American bands, Americana bands that write amazing stuff that is so ear-friendly. You could sing these tunes straight away. It's amazing. And yet, for some reason, they're not played in Malta.
Are not played in Malta?
No, not many of them. They've started now, but when we started the show, 208, 209, 210, 211, up to 212, a lot of it was, I would say, 95% fresh. Now it started coming into the mainstream of Malta.
Well, thank you, Jon, for joining me for this interview.
Pleasure, man.
It was
Pleasure.
very, very privileged to me that you
Come on.
came here.
Come on, you've been very nice to invite me. And
Yes.
and there's not enough shows I can do or appear in. And yours is a cool one. And thank you
Thank you very much.
bringing me over.
Thank
Nice
you.
one.
Thank you very much
Nice
for
one.
coming.
Goodbye.
U din kienet l-aħħar intervista waqt il-programm Local Angle propju f'din l-iskeda għaddit u f'dawn l-aħħar 9 xhur kelli ċans li nlaqgħakom ma' diversi kantanti, bands kif ukoll producers. Kien ta' pjaċir tiegħi li nagħmel dan il-programm fuq it-televiżjoni għall-ewwel darba nixtieq nirringrazzja fost oħrajn lid-direzzjoni tal-programm Local Angle kif ukoll lid-direzzjoni ta' Xejk. Fost oħrajn nixtieq nirringrazzja lil diversi persuni li jimnalla kien għalihom li dan il-programm isir realtà u nagħtu support lill mużika lokali. Fost oħrajn nixtieq nirringrazzja lill-direttur ta' dan il-programm Charles Sajt, lill-cameraman Bassam Fava, kif ukoll diversi persuni oħra li ma jidrux ikunu wara l-kwinti biex dan il-programm isir possibbli. Fost oħrajn bla dubju nixtieq nirringrazzja persuna li kelli ċans li nintaqa' magħha wkoll grazzi għal dan il-programm. Persuna li hija fil-fatt dedikata għal mużika lokali qed nirreferi għal Martin Duka li minn hawnhekk nixtieq nirringrazzjak ħafna wkoll tal-sapport li jagħti lill-mużika lokali u bla dubju li ser jibqa' jagħmel dan fix-xhur u snin li ġejjin għax verament għandu għall-qalbu l-mużika lokali. U fost oħrajn nispera li jiżdiedu dawn it-tip ta' nies li jagħtu support lil bands, kantanti u producers lokali. Nixtieq nirringrazzja bla dubju wkoll lilkom it-telespettaturi ta' Xejk li ta' kull ġimgħa naqqatu miegħi biex nlaqgħakom ma' dawn l-artisti lokali. Mnalla wkoll tkunu intom li ssegwu wkoll dawn il-programmi biex tagħtu support lilna li wkoll nwaslulkom fid-djar tagħkom propju il-programmi li saru f'dawn ix-xogħol li għaddew fuq Xejk. Bla dubju nappella lilkom li qegħdin issegwu bħalissa l-istazzjon Xejk biex f'dan is-sajf fl-avvenimenti li jsiru ta' kull ġimgħa tista' tgħid isiru diversi attivitajiet li jieħdu sem fihom ukoll il-kantanti u l-bands lokali. Fost oħrajn ukoll anke producers li jkunu fil-gigs li ser ikollhom fis-sajf li ġej. Nappellalkom biex tattendu u tagħtu support aktar lill-mużika lokali, lill-bands, lill-kantanti u lill-producers. Nirringrazzjakom tal-attenzjoni, nirringrazzjakom ħafna tal-li propju naqqattu magħna f'dawn il-ġimgħat kollha fejn kelli ċans li nlaqgħakom aktar minn 79 kantant, band jew inkella producer f'dawn il-programmi kollha. Sakemm nerġgħu nintaqgħu nawguralkom is-sajf it-tajjeb. Ciao ciao.